Now, once I create the bucket here, the bucket should be created pretty quickly. And in fact, I already had a bucket created ahead of time just so I can show you some of the configurations. Now, from here, there are a few things I want to go over. Once we're in the bucket, we can see that there are some files in here. You can click this button here and drag files in here to upload them. Similarly, you can click the file and you can download it onto your local computer. This looks very similar to other cloud storage providers we might have seen, like Google Drive. And it's a user interface that allows people to easily interface with the data. Now, we've talked about kind of how we set up the bucket, what it looks like when we have files uploaded and downloaded. I want to go over two things for how we manage access for our applications down the road. The first is that in the tab over here for permissions, there's a convention of a bucket policy. So how this works is that I can probably access this bucket using my user account I'm highlighting here on the top right. However, when we're running applications in, let's say, Elastic Kubernetes service in EKS, EKS has an IAM role set up that enables what it's allowed to access. So if I wanted to allow Kubernetes to read this bucket, I probably want to go in here, the bucket policy, and go to the policy generator and set up the policy for this bucket. So I just want to quickly go over what this might look like. It's not something you have to do now, but once you work on the deployment phase, it's something that you might need to look at. But for local development to get the project set up initially, it's not a hard requirement. So once we're in here, we can go to the IAM policy, allow S3, and here we would pass in the name of the bucket. So that would be S3, boom. This is the unique name of the bucket. And I don't want to provide all actions because that's not the best practice to just provide blanket permissions for everything. It's arguable in development. I can check this, make sure everything works, and trim my permissions down as necessary. But I'm going to just quickly show you some of the common permissions that might be needed for applications. Typically, we want to be able to delete an object so we can delete files that get uploaded. We want to be able to list the objects that are inside the bucket so that we can see what's in there, list bucket. And we want to be able to put things in the bucket to upload them. So that should be put object and get object. So these define the CRUD operations: create, read, update, delete. And here, add statement and generate policy. And you would take this, and this would be your policy that defines for this bucket, we allow these following actions. Great. As mentioned earlier, this is not something that you need to immediately work on at this moment. It's something down the line for IAM policy.